How do you know if your child is hungry during the night? There's so much information online and you're going to be bombarded with all sorts of misinformation with this. Let's actually look at what's really happening when it comes to nighttime hunger and your child. Hey there, my name is Rebecca Mickey and I am a children's sleep consultant and author. I work with families who have children under 6 years old and I'm a gentle, no-cry sleep consultant. In this mini masterclass, we're looking at nighttime hunger. Let's see if we can figure out if your child is hungry during the night or not. You may have heard that if your child is over 6 months old or weighs over 15 pounds, then they do not need to have a feed during the night. And if you do have a 6-month-old or they're over 15 pounds and they are feeding during the night once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, it doesn't matter how many times, you may then be thinking, are they actually really hungry? Because they shouldn't be. Everything I'm reading says that they shouldn't be hungry during the night, but they seem to be hungry during the night. What's going on? If your child is used to feeding during the night and getting a full tummy during the night, they are going to be hungry because they're expecting to get that full tummy. The stomach is expecting to digest and they're going to get those hunger, rumbly tummy. And that is then going to mean that, yes, they are hungry. So even though other children may not be hungry at that time, your child is because they're used to eating at that time. Now, that doesn't mean that forevermore your child is going to need to eat during the night, whether that's having milk or having a snack or having a full meal. That doesn't mean that that's the case. We can work at shifting this. There's a lot of information online saying that you just need to not feed your child during the night. But you know what's going to happen then? If you choose not to feed them during the night, they're going to be hungry. And when you're really hungry and your tummy is really rumbling, you're not necessarily sleeping. It means your child is not necessarily sleeping either because they're feeling hungry. They're tired, they're hungry, and that's going to equal hangry. They're going to be really hangry, they're going to be really mad, and they're going to be really furious. And you are leaving your child hungry and they're not going to be able to sleep. So I found the best way to manage this is to actually gradually reduce down the amount that you're feeding during the night. So you are helping their tummy to adjust to needing less milk during the nighttime, so that their stomach is then getting used to not having as much milk there. What will also happen is that you're gradually reducing down milk during the nighttime, they'll gradually start increasing the amount of milk intake and the amount of calories that they're getting during the daytime. You're going to then find a happy balance. Some children are able to go without a feed during the night some children are doing it at 3 months old. Some children are doing it at 6 months old. Some children are doing it over a year old. Your child has a time when they're going to meet this milestone. But you want to get down to those minimum feeds. And that is by gradually reducing down the amount that you're feeding your child. And I'd start with just one feed, not necessarily the first one, unless it's your only feed. But a subsequent feed, I would begin reducing that down. So you need to know how much your child is drinking at that point. Easy if you're feeding with a bottle, because you can see how much it is that they're feeding. If you're breastfeeding, this is obviously much harder to do. How much is a boobful? Nobody knows. So you want to look actually at how many minutes that your child is feeding for. So just look roughly how many minutes, and then we can work on gradually reducing that down. So you can reduce down the volume in a bottle really slowly, really gradually, or you can reduce down the amount of time that you are feeding for. If you're doing so, your child is getting less milk at that one feed during the night. You can then work on increasing the next day. So if you're just reducing down a minute or two of a breastfeed, or half an ounce or an ounce of a bottle feed, you've got the entire day to get that missed nighttime. You've got the entire day to add that to, so it should be fairly easy to do. And then every 2 or 3 nights, reduce down again a little bit more. and continue to do so, working on reducing down feeds individually. And this will help your child then to not feel that hunger during the night, because you're helping their stomach to adjust to needing less food at that time. We're increasing how much they're getting during the day, and hopefully we'll be able to get our nighttime feeds down to a minimum. If you have any questions or comments, you can always leave those here. I'll see you in the next masterclass.